King. Are you there, Mayor King? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, remember we decide we're going to admit everybody because sometimes we have problems when people want to just get in and be silly.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is the City of East Cleveland General Service and Administration Committee. Chairperson is Councilor Timothy Austin. Members are Nathaniel Martin, Councilor, also Councilor Ernest Smith. Today is Thursday, March 25th, 2021. And the time is, my time is not sure. Who has the time?
5:30.
Is it 5:30?
Yep. Oh, now it's 5:31.
We're going to take 5:31. Okay. Councilor Austin, would you please call the meeting to order?
The General Services Administration meeting is called to order. Clerk, if you would call the roll, please.
Councilor Austin?
Present.
Councilor Smith?
Present.
Councilor Martin? Councilor Martin, are you there?
Hold on a second. I wonder if he's having a problem. He's here.
Yeah.
Yes, Councilor.
I don't have the audio. I don't have audio on.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep your phone turned on so they can hear you on this side. Can everybody hear him when he talks on his phone? Go ahead, Mr. Martin.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why the audio is not on the computer. What am I doing wrong?
Is there a microphone down in the left-hand corner on that computer?
I'm looking. Yeah, it says mute, and I got it unmuted. It's got start video, but it don't say. Usually it say join the meeting audio. I didn't see that.
Because it shows you talking.
We can hear you.
Yeah, because I'm talking to on my phone.
Hold on a minute.
Oh, okay.
Try now. No, Nate, press unmute because you were doing fine. Take unmute. That's how we heard you, was through the computer.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're doing fine. You were coming through on your computer, so you're
Hello?
good.
Hello?
Can you hear us? He can't hear us.
Okay, let me call him.
Okay.
We'll have to do it. We did this one time before where I just held his phone up.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, we can hear you, but unfortunately you can't hear us. So I'm going to leave your phone on and you can hear through this way, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. You're good. Okay, Victoria.
Okay, under legislation, first we have resolution number 15-21, a resolution authorizing, can I have 100%?
I'm going up, sweetheart.
Okay.
I'm going to make it bigger for you.
That's good. I mean, just don't move anything. I was fine.
There you go.
All right. So we're going to start over here. Resolution number 1521, a resolution authorizing the mayor to sell certain inoperable surplus vehicles through auction to scrap dealers or to sell the salvaged city vehicles through competitive offers. And if none is forthcoming, to junk pursuant to appropriate health and safety regulations in order to provide for safe access upon city workspaces. This is requested by the fire department, sponsored by Timothy Austin, Councilor at Large, co-sponsored by Councilors Nathaniel Martin and Ernest Smith. This is a first read.
Okay, Councilor Austin, there's a little bit of background on this one. This is the one that you had moved forward, and then the fire chief wanted it pulled because he wanted to keep a few items. So working with Willa this week, we revised this to take off those pieces that the fire chief wanted to keep. And there was another piece of legislation that would come down with a few more vehicles on it. So we just went ahead and combined it into this one.
Yeah, I see that the Stephanie Tubbs Jones vehicle was missing the VIN number.
Right.
And it said they would get that information to us. So hopefully by the actual agenda review, we'll have that.
Yes.
We'll go.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Councilor
I
Martin.
can hear you fine.
Is the council vehicle in this list? The one sitting out in the parking lot?
I couldn't discern the council vehicle being on this list. I have the list right here. Let me quadruple check. 12. Negative.
Okay.
Okay.
So Brother Austin is not on this list, correct? Hello?
Yes, you're correct, Councilor Martin.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I think we should, we'll have to publish some legislation to get that thing replaced and get it moved. So I did have the additional parking spaces in the council area as well, especially if it's inoperable or not economically feasible to repair. Okay, does anybody else have any other concerns or issues that may prevent this legislation from being moved out of committee?
No.
Okay, well,
not that we're preventing. I also talked to the service supervisor, and he said that it's very, very important that those inoperable pieces of equipment be moved.
I support. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I said we move this out of committee onto the agenda review. Everybody in agreement?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Great, thank you, sir. Madam Clerk.
Duly noted. Next, we have ordinance number 20-21. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio, for the resurfacing of Ivanhoe Road from Euclid Avenue to East 152nd Street, with the county contributing 100% of the construction and design cost within the East Cleveland city limits for the project. This is requested by Mayor Brandon L. King, sponsored by Timothy Austin, Chair of General Services and Administration.
I'd like to have a comment about this. You know how they talk about the entrance into our city and how it needs such repair. This gives us the opportunity to have a phenomenal entry into the city from 152nd Street, Cleveland, all the way into East Cleveland. And, you know, I'm applauding this opportunity for us. So when you come down that street, everything is fresh and new, and the city is responsible for the traffic control symbols and signals as they come through the city in that space, whether it's gonna be a traffic light, four-way stop sign, and to maintain the road safe and passable throughout the construction period. So there's gonna be some police out there and some barrels from start to finish, if we indeed pass this legislation. But I think it's a necessary piece of legislation because it does give us the positive aesthetic for people coming from that way into our city. Any other councilors have any thoughts?
Mr. Chair and Madam Clerk, I would also would beg of you to allow me to co-sponsor this piece of legislation, please.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any other concerns?
No, it's my understanding, Chairman Austin, that 100% of the cost is going to be provided by the county. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Well, that's good news.
That's great news. Thank you. Anybody have a problem with moving this from the committee?
No.
Okay, great. Let's move it.
Okay. Next, we have resolution number 21-21, a resolution agreeing to participate in the Ohio Department of Transportation's ODOT annual winter road salt bid for the 2021-2022 year in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 5513.01B, and hereby agrees to all of the following terms and conditions in its participation of the ODOT winter road salt contract. This is requested by Mayor Brandon L. King, sponsored by Timothy R. Austin, Counselor at Large.
Great. I know that we've all heard about this, the economies of scale. If the state of Ohio can purchase salt in a large enough volume, there's between a 30% decrease in price. And based on this contract that they have, the cities or municipalities that take advantage of that opportunity by partnering with the state get this, I guess, economies of scale savings. So I don't remember the exact number of tons that were requested. So I guess I will ask for that again. I charge to my head, not my heart. But yes, this is an opportunity for us to save quite a bit of money and make sure that we actually get the salt. There was a time when we didn't have enough salt, and there was some astronomical costs that we had to pay to keep our residents.
There it is.
Any other issues?
I know the street.
Councilor Smith?
I have no comments. I have no, I would love to move this legislation forward.
Councilor Martin?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this allows us to bid, to get in that pool to get a reduced price on salt, correct?
Right, that's correct.
Okay, my question to you, you may not be able to answer is, we didn't have a real hard winter last year in 2020. How much salt do we have left from last year? Do you know?
I don't know how to measure the metric ton of salt based on what I've seen over there in the, I guess, salt silo, if you will. But I know that it didn't appear to be, I mean, the winters are unpredictable, so I can't say whether we have enough or not. But I know that if to take advantage of the cost savings, and listen, they don't mandate that we buy a certain amount, but having this contract in place will allow our service department director to forecast at a decent rate. So we're not asking to buy more than 190 metric tons of salt. Whatever the estimated projection is, we'll get it at a lower rate. So more to follow.
Okay, if it's all right with you and Mr. Smith, I'm okay for us to move that out of committee.
Thank you very much, sir. Madam Clerk. Let's move this out of committee.
Duly noted. Next, we have Ordinance 22-21, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio for the resurfacing of Shaw Avenue from Hayden to Manhattan Avenue, with the county contributing 50% or up to $250,000 of the construction and design costs within the city of East Cleveland city limits for the project. This is requested by Mayor Brandon L. King. This is sponsored by Timothy Austin, Counselor at Large.
Well, committee, I want to share with you that there is going to be a cost, an estimated cost of $385,000 that the city of East Cleveland would have to contribute to get this accomplished. So if you go back into your package, it'll tell you, I think the estimated cost was like $625,000 to have that section of the city resurfaced. And again, that is a thoroughfare where we have two schools or two groups of students that will pass through that area. And we want to get that area taken care of as safely as possible for those children have to go back and forth to school. So,
Mr. Chairman, Tim Austin.
Yes, sir.
It's going to cost you $385,000. My question is, where are we going to get the $385,000 to cover our share of this project?
Okay, we have about $4 or $5 million right now that we can appropriate, and this legislation will allow us to appropriate $385,000 of those dollars to this effort. And I'm pulling up my notes right now. So we're looking at $385,000. What would be our contribution to getting this effort taken care of? So there's
I'm okay with it. Hear what Mr. Smith has to say.
Up to a master.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I would love to see this piece of legislation move forward. I would also like to co-sponsor this piece of legislation. And you know, this piece of legislation just made me think about the piece of legislation that was turned down a few months ago, the CDBG funds, to pave 5 streets in East Cleveland, including Shaw Avenue was on that list. So I sadly would please, I please want that part of the record. Just for the people to know that Shaw Avenue was slated to get paid with the CDBG funds, but it got turned down by council.
Okay.
Council members.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
And clerk, I'd like to co-sponsor this with you and Mr. Smith, please.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, looking over my notes, okay. If you would.
It is duly noted that Councilors Ernest Smith and Nathaniel Martin will be co-sponsors on this legislation.
Thank you, Madam.
And will the legislation be moved forward to agenda review?
Yes, ma'am. Please move it forward.
Okay. Next, we have ordinance number 24-21, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio, for the rehabilitation of Superior Road from Euclid Avenue to Lee Road, with the county contributing 100% of the construction and design cost within the East Cleveland city limits for the project. This is requested by Brandon L. King, Mayor. This is sponsored by Timothy Austin, Counselor at Large.
Yes, this is definitely a piece of legislation that needs to move forward as quickly as possible. The season has just began, and if we can get this approved, we should see some traction, hopefully by the end of the season, so that, you know, that's a part of the city where when you're driving up that strip on your way, it's pretty rough towards the edge of the road. So this is an opportunity to allow our residents a little bit smoother ride, some protection or precautions for their vehicles. So yes, this is definitely a good thing for us. And the more we can get the outside agencies that truly are partners in support to provide their partnership and show their support, phenomenal. Thank you. We appreciate the county for this.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Austin?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to co-sponsor this legislation, and it's way overdue. I was on Superior yesterday, and it's going up the hill, going south, it's in pretty bad shape. As soon as we get that done, that'll be a win-win situation for the health, interest, rights, and needs of the people, Brother Smith.
Right. Mr. Chair, I would like to follow in the footsteps of Councilman Martin, and I too would like to co-sponsor this very serious piece of legislation.
Amen. Madam Clerk.
It is duly noted that Councilors Nathaniel Martin and Ernest Smith will be co-sponsoring the legislation, and the legislation will be moved forward to agenda review.
Great. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. Proposed repairs and upgrades for city-owned buildings. As you know, we've continued to do little small things around City Hall. The parking lot is looking pretty updated because we've had the lines painted in the police parking lot. I don't know if you noticed. We've had parking spaces identified and proper signage posted to those parking spaces for the council president, council vice president, and the additional slots for the council members that come in. So that's a great thing that needs to be noticed, so that the, I guess, employees that use that parking lot, you know, can let it be known that we appreciate their efforts and some of the things that the administration has done to help with the aesthetics from the outside. So some of the new enhancements and or upgrades, I don't know if you notice when you drive by the service department, they're doing some work over there, but they're doing a great job keeping it clean from the street. So more to follow on the updates for the COVID-19 enhancements across the city and some of the city buildings. So I wish the mayor was here so he could talk more about it. So I'm going to reserve my thoughts until he's on the line and able to share that.
He's logged in.
Oh, he's logged in. Okay.
Yes, I see his name up there.
Mayor King, any thoughts about upgrades to city buildings? Okay, hearing none. Not to worry.
Mr. Austin?
Councilor Martin?
You got a question. You said something at the beginning of your presentation about they put lines in the back, but yeah. I walk down here on a regular basis for the meetings in the parking lot. I don't know if that's something in the plan, but it definitely needs paving. Or it's one section you go down, one section is, I mean, it's in bad condition, and I hope we can do something with that. But it definitely needs improvement. Okay. It definitely needs improvement. The parking lot, Ernest and Brother Austin.
Yes. Yep.
So is anything planning to do something about this parking lot here up in City Hall where the police and fire park at, and sometimes citizens park in that parking lot?
I cannot say about the resurfacing of that area, but I do understand it needs to be at least sealed again and something done to preserve what's there. So let's take a look at it, and we can make the recommendation and actually prepare the legislation to have it done if you feel that strongly about it. So more to follow.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, not to worry. Okay. Subject to the mayor not being available at this moment, future leasing of vehicles. We talked about getting the some more vehicles for police at our last meeting. So I guess I would like for the mayor to reiterate that or rediscuss that, bring that back to the table. So Mayor King, are you available right now? Okay, hearing none, not to worry. Moving on to seasonal service department information and updates. As you see, we can actually see where the leaves were left from last year. And I see a lot of people are getting out there doing their spring cleaning, and I ask that we all participate. And I would like to actually plan a spring cleanup or help with each ward in planning a spring cleanup so that we can post some dumpsters and actually have give our residents access to those dumpsters. So some of those larger items that they can't otherwise, conveniently dispose of, they actually get an open window to dispose of those large items, couches, chairs, and so on and so forth. We're gonna hopefully discuss the logistics of making that happen, and once start a discussion about how we do that. Councilor Smith, your thoughts?
That's an awesome idea. Yeah, that's an awesome idea. That's what serving the health, interest, rights, and needs of the people all about. Like you said, we get a few dumpsters, just how we did before. We understand with the COVID, it's a little different situation, but we can spread out because the trash spreads out, and we can spread out, and of course send our heavy equipment out there to pick tires and everything up. That's beautiful. Because spring is here and is much needed. I'm in full support of that.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to continue to work with the administration and ask the service department if they can block off some time so they can kind of just have a couple of days of just full-fledged support like they did last time, going from one corner of the city to the next, picking up whatever is necessary and disposing of it properly.
Mr. Austin, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I saw an article a week ago stipulating that we have a chance of getting $27 million COVID money for 2021. And I wanted to ask you, is there other ways we can spend some of that COVID money besides police and fire, which is a good thing, but I wonder, can we use some of that money for some of these other things? What is your feeling about that, Councilman Austin?
I got the document right here about what those dollars can be spent on. So they can be spent on all things that protect the community from the spread of coronavirus. Anything that is a pass through, anything you have to use, touch, roll around with in order to get from point A to point B. Those are things that you can basically use the COVID-19 dollars for. And I have the document right here. So if you like, I can, take it over to the council office and share it. So
yeah,
there's a long list of items that you can use those dollars.
Well, Councilman Austin, get that up so I can take a look at that, because
okay.
I'm trying to figure, and I'm looking at you and I'm looking at Smith, how we going to spend $27 million besides police salaries, and we might be able to help with the dispatchers we're getting ready to hire, but and I'm counting on Ernest Smith and Austin to come with some other ideas we can spend that money on besides that.
It looks like Mayor King is available now.
What?
It looks like Mayor King's available now.
I'm here. You guys got a question for me?
Yes, sir.
Maybe I can ask that question to the mayor. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me, Brandon King?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the question is, this $27 million we'll be getting this year, half at the beginning of 6 months and another half, how else can we spend the money? What is your advice or suggestions or other ways we can spend the money besides, in addition to police salaries and fire salaries and that type of thing?
So Councilman, we are still waiting for further guidance from the Treasury on how to spend that money and how it can be spent. And we're still waiting for a hard number. There's been some back and forth, as the finance director alluded to yesterday, I believe it was, or that was Monday. He alluded to they haven't given us a hard number on what it is we're getting. We know what was printed in the paper, and we got our fingers crossed, hoping that we do get that or more. However, we're still waiting for a final confirmation on that and on how we can spend it.
And before you go,
let me say this. So we head this off. What they already told us is that the money is already appropriated based on the legislation you passed last year. So we won't have to come back in front of council to accept it.
Okay, but that's from last year. I'm talking about this new money we getting this year, right?
I'm telling you, it's already appropriated. Once you passed that legislation last year, they sent us 3 different tranches of money, and they're all appropriated. They're all accepted with the one acceptance, and that's from the Treasury. That's not our rule. We can give it to you. It's already accepted.
So are you saying, Mayor Brandon King, that the $27 million is spent already?
No. Appropriated just means you accepted it.
All right. Okay.
You know how when we get a grant, it has to go before council and you have to accept it?
Okay. So what I'm reaching out to you for is once it's appropriated, how are we going to spend that kind of money?
So
in addition to taking care of the police and the fire, that's my question to you.
Once we get further guidance on how it can be spent, and we know what the number is, and again, it says that they're going to give us half this year and then half in 12 months after we get the first, we'll be able to get back together and further think through that.
Okay. All right. Well, I know you'll keep us plugged in, right?
I'll keep you plugged in. I'll keep you informed. You know, I would say that we would sit down and have some conversation as to then how to best expense the money based on the guidelines. But please don't go somewhere and start talking about a swimming pool. That's not going to happen. A grocery store is not going to happen. So we head that off before we even get it. Don't tell anybody we get in a swimming pool or a grocery store.
Oh man. Okay. But with
or
that,
golf course. That's what Willis said.
Okay. Mayor King, I want to take us a couple of notes back. Proposed repairs or upgrades to city buildings. Do you have any on the list or that we haven't discussed?
Yeah, so we have a ton on the list, and we sent you guys maybe a dozen or so pieces of legislation over the last couple months that we have to go dig out and maybe resend to you so that we can get legislation passed. Now we can pick back up on some of the rehab that was going on. We had to put it on pause because of the permanent appropriations. The only thing we didn't was the dispatch, because we're under the gun, so to speak, to get that dispatch up and running by May 1st. So now that we have the permanent appropriations, we can start looking at finishing some of the other rehab, the bathrooms, get the court situated and the council chambers situated. And I think I shared that with you guys before.
Can we, Brandon, can we use some of that money to take care of the dispatch people? Hello?
Yeah, so Councilman, we're still waiting on further guidance on how that money can be spent. We're still waiting on guidance. Now, if it's the same and we can treat them as first responders or essential employees, then absolutely, yes.
I hope that we can do that. That would be a win-win situation for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Another future leases of vehicles.
Yeah, so we're trying to execute those now that we have the permanent appropriations passed. So we're moving that ball down the field. I'm waiting for the fire department to get back to me. We're trying to execute the FEMA grant. And we've been back and forth with the NCL financing, the government financing, to get that situated.
Okay.
So we're moving them forward.
Okay, the last meeting, there was some discussion about some police vehicles also.
So I sent that legislation down. You guys said to buy it. So we sent it down already. 2 police cars and a vehicle for the service. The service vehicle, it is a medium duty truck. So it is not like the 2 that we have now. It is the kind that you'll see, they'll put a box on the back of it and they'll blow leaves in it, or they'll put a box on the back of it and they'll spread salt with it. So it is a step up from the ones we have, and it'll function more like a salt truck in the winter,
like
rather than a pickup truck.
Is it F-350 or 450 or something?
F-550.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the heavy duty. It's a Silverado though. It's not a Ford.
Okay. Well, you know.
So the other one we have is a 350.
Okay. Great.
Counselor, I think I sent that legislation late yesterday. Willis sent it down. And if I'm not mistaken, it's numbered 2921 or 2821, but I sent it to you. 29.
21. Yep. Thank you, Tracy. I got
You're
it.
welcome. Yeah, we sent it out yesterday, sir. So you would have it as a separate piece of legislation.
Okay. Great. So, Mayor King, any other general services updates or specific seasonal updates that the residents could prepare for and or assist with?
Yes. So for the residents and what we can spread the word. So we've done a great job in taking down a lot of the blight. We've been getting calls over the last 2 weeks about cars parked where there used to be vacant and abandoned properties. So now we got to get those green stickers back out. Y'all got to park on the street. Just because we took the house down don't mean you can park in the grass. Right? Who wants to come outside, look across the street at a car parked in it, and they tear the grass up? So we're going to have to address that. Okay. That in the seasonals. Oh, we got that piece of Caterpillar equipment in yesterday too.
Which piece is that, Mayor King?
The one that we worked on back in 2019. You guys passed that legislation in 2019, and I ordered it last February, but the COVID shut the plant down. Anyway, they bought it out yesterday.
Okay. I guess I'll get over there to is it parked in the service department yard?
Yep.
Okay. All right, great. So I guess I'll get over and take a quick look. Thank you, Mayor King. That's all we have for you at this moment.
Thank you. Good seeing you guys.
Mr. Chair, I have one question for the mayor, if I can.
Yes, sir. Councilor Smith.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Quick question is, thank you. Is Lee Coleman still contracted by us?
Lee Coleman is contracted. Lee Coleman is contracted, and I've seen groundhog, so I'm assuming he's out there. He does not have a new contract for this year. He's working off his old contract. Well, I don't know. But he's still working. He does not have a new contract though.
Okay, I was asking for can we have his phone number again, please? For the
you got his phone number? Well, I'll have to email it or text it to you. I don't have it myself.
Okay. Thank you.
But he was in here. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. So I don't have my camera on, but for those of you who've been in my office, you've seen one of these big cages. Yeah. So as a city, we bought 30 cages. We're going to put tags on them to identify them as city, and we'll be able to give those to the residents, right? They can come pick them up at the service department. When they catch a varmint, they can call Lee Coleman, and he'll come and take it from there.
Okay.
Yeah, that way we'll cut into some of the expense and hopefully speed up some of the eradication of these animals.
Absolutely. I want to work with you on that. Close.
Yeah, we got 30 cages.
Right. Great.
Yeah, so the metal plates will be here. We'll put them on there, and then we can start passing them out. They have to sign for them, and we know we'll probably lose some of these cages, but that's fine. We at least got to try.
Okay, great. That's good information. Thank you, Mayor King. Councilman Martin, you have anything for the mayor?
Basically, I got a call, 2 calls today. Can you hear me, Brandon King?
Yes.
Yeah, Neela Crest and Neela Wood, where that church is, right off Noble Road there, that church across from GE, Neela Crest, you right there. Well, yes. You need to have your service people take a look at that. I got 2 calls on it today, and it's bad. Behind that church up there, Neela Crest and Neela Wood. Okay. If you can't have them take a look at that tomorrow, behind the church.
Okay, I'll send them up there tomorrow. There's some dumping up there or potholes?
It's Berman and that. It could be dumping, but I'm not sure if that's the case. But if you need the people who complain, I can get you their information.
Absolutely, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, and thank you for what you're doing. Okay.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for passing that permanent appropriations. We got the 85% lifted today too.
Oh, cool.
All right, take care.
All right.
Okay. This is where we move to the good part of the agenda where we get to hear from the residents, remarks from the public. 2 minutes, please. Hearing none. Hearing none. Okay, Councilor Smith.
Mr. Chair, Councilman Martin, Madam Clerks, everyone from the administration, most importantly, the great people of East Cleveland, thank you for a great, awesome meeting tonight. I have to be honest, I wish it was more residents on the line, but as I continue to speak with residents, again, I barely know how to use the Zoom, so that's something that we all have to work on together. But I thank you to my colleagues, my clerks, and again, the administration and the people for a great meeting tonight. Really, I really feel like we got some things accomplished tonight, and hopefully they can move on from the agenda review to the regular council meeting and then move on right there out in the public to benefit the health, interest, rights, and needs of the people. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's it for now.
Councilor Martin.
Yeah, I want to thank you for running a good meeting. And we got a lot to get done in 2021. And I just hope that we have the transparency and the communication that is essential for us to do our part, working with the administration to get some things done. Getting Superior and Euclid, part of Euclid paid is a win-win situation. Getting some of the vehicles is a win-win situation. But the most important thing is that we work together as a body for the betterment of the citizens of East Cleveland. And I thank both you, Brother Smith and Brother Austin, for doing what you're doing. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Clerk, do you have any note for the good of the order? Okay.
No.
To everybody, we do appreciate, the effort put into making this an informative platform for all that attend. I do appreciate the counselors, the clerks, and the administration. Looking forward to more growth and development and cohesion and information that will really benefit the health, interest, rights, and needs, thank you, Councilor Smith, of the people. So we can start recognizing the people and seeing their needs as our needs in a way that make them actionable requirements. So I feel it's time to adjourn. The time is 6:11 p.m. And I'd like to be adjourned at that time. Thank you all. May you have a great evening and take care. All in favor?
So moved.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, counselors.